Rome was the greatest military power the ancient world had ever seen. Its legions conquered Britain, crushed Carthage, occupied Egypt, and ruled lands stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to the deserts of the Middle East. For centuries, Rome expanded with relentless confidence. To many, it seemed as if no kingdom on earth could stand against the Eagle of Rome. But there was one empire that never fell. An empire that fought Rome for nearly 7 centuries. An empire that defeated Roman armies, captured a Roman emperor alive, and remained beyond Rome's control until the very end. This was Persia, the empire Rome could never conquer. To understand why, we have to travel back to the 1st century BC, when Rome stood at the height of its ambition. By then, the Roman Republic had transformed into the dominant power of the Mediterranean. Its disciplined legions were unlike any army the world had ever seen. Every soldier trained relentlessly, marched for miles carrying heavy equipment, and could build a fortified camp before sunset. Roman engineers constructed roads that allowed armies to move faster than their enemies. Their commanders studied every victory and every defeat, constantly improving the tactics that had built an empire. Where Rome marched, conquest usually followed. After defeating Carthage, conquering Greece, and bringing Egypt under its influence, Roman leaders turned their eyes east. Beyond the Euphrates River lay a wealthy empire, controlling some of the most valuable trade routes in the world. Silk from China, spices from India, and precious goods from Central Asia all passed through Persian lands. Whoever controlled these routes controlled immense wealth. Many Roman politicians believed Persia would become just another province of the growing empire. They were dangerously mistaken. At the time, Rome's eastern rival was the Parthian Empire, a kingdom built not on massive infantry formations, but on speed, mobility, and deadly cavalry. The Parthians fought in a way the Romans had rarely encountered. Their horse archers could fire arrows with remarkable accuracy while riding at full speed. Even more impressive, they often pretended to retreat, only to turn in their saddles and shoot backward at the pursuing enemy. This famous tactic became known as the Parthian Shot, confusing opponents and drawing them into deadly traps. Behind these swift horsemen came the cataphracts, heavily armored cavalry whose riders and horses were protected by metal armor. Charging with long lances, they struck like an iron hammer against exhausted enemy lines. The contrast between the two armies was striking. Rome relied on discipline, formation, and close combat. Parthia relied on speed, distance, and patience. Neither side realized they were about to begin one of history's longest rivalries. Then, in 53 BC, one ambitious Roman changed everything. His name was Marcus Licinius Crassus, one of the richest men in Rome, and a member of the powerful alliance that ruled the Republic, alongside Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great. Crassus wanted the military glory that Caesar had earned in Gaul. Confident that the Roman legions could defeat anyone, he gathered around 40,000 soldiers and crossed the Euphrates, expecting a swift victory. Instead, he was marching toward one of the greatest disasters in Roman history. In the scorching plains near the city of Carrhae, Crassus finally encountered the Parthian army. The Romans expected a traditional battle. Instead, they faced an enemy unlike any they had fought before. Commanding the Parthians was the brilliant General Serena. Rather than meeting the Roman legions head-on, he surrounded them with thousands of mounted horse archers. As the Romans advanced, the Parthians simply rode away, firing arrows with deadly precision. When the Romans stopped, the arrows continued to rain down. Hour after hour, the attack never ended. Roman shields became heavy with arrows. Soldiers collapsed from exhaustion beneath the relentless desert sun. Every attempt to break the encirclement failed. Then, Surena unleashed his elite cataphracts. Covered in armor from head to toe, both horse and rider charged with enormous lances, smashing into weakened Roman formations. The disciplined legions, usually unstoppable in close combat, could do little against an enemy that controlled both the distance and the battlefield. By the end of the battle, more than 20,000 Romans had been killed and around 10,000 were taken prisoner. Crassus himself was killed during failed negotiations.
It was one of the worst defeats in Roman history. Yet Rome did not give up. Over the next 3 centuries, emperor after emperor marched east, determined to succeed where Crassus had failed. Some won impressive victories. Others captured major cities deep inside Persian territory. But none could keep them. The farther Roman armies advanced, the longer their supply lines became. Persia's vast deserts, mountains, and open plains favored defenders who knew the land. Persian cavalry repeatedly attacked Roman supply routes, forcing exhausted armies to retreat before they could secure lasting control. Then, in AD 260, Rome suffered an even greater humiliation. The Sasanian Empire, which had replaced the Parthians, defeated Emperor Valerian near the city of Edessa. For the first and only time in Roman history, a reigning Roman emperor was captured alive by a foreign power. The news stunned the ancient world. The empire that had conquered so many others had seen its own emperor taken prisoner. Despite this, the wars continued for centuries. Sometimes Rome advanced, sometimes Persia advanced, but neither empire could destroy the other. So why couldn't Rome conquer Persia? Because Persia matched Rome in resources, leadership, and determination. Its cavalry neutralized the strengths of the Roman legions. Its geography punished invading armies, and its rulers had centuries to study Roman tactics. In the end, the greatest empire in the West met its equal in the East. Neither side achieved complete victory. Instead, after hundreds of years of war, both empires emerged weakened. In the 7th century, a new power rose from Arabia, forever changing the balance of the ancient world.
Rome conquered kingdoms across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. But Persia remained the one prize forever beyond its grasp. Sometimes history isn't remembered for the empires that conquered everything. It's remembered for the rival they never could. Empires rise, empires fall, but some rivalries outlast them all. Rome had the legions, Persia had the will. And in the end, it wasn't the sword that decided history, it was who refused to break. So the next time someone tells you that you're too small to stand against something bigger, remember Persia. They never conquered the world. They just made sure no one else could conquer them. If this story moved you, subscribe to Historic Warfronts, because history remembers the ones who refuse to fall.